Hello, marketeers. Welcome to the refreshing episode of Marketeers Lead Talk. Today, our special guest is Paramjit Singh, a professional leader with coach with over 25 years of experience in diverse industries. Paramjit has always worked with industry leaders like TCS, Aptech, Club Mahindra, Monster.com, ST Media Limited, and many more. Currently in consulting business from last 7 years and worked with the clients like Heidelberg Cement, Domino's, Audi, Godfrey Phillips, and Reuters. He is coaching senior executives from large Indian and MNCs companies. Empaneled for coaching with the world's leaders HR solution company, Paramjit has also co-authored a book, The Accountability Clock, Building Accountability at the Workplace. And that's the topic that we have taken for today. So welcome Paramjit ji is for Marketers Lead Talk. I hope you're doing fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, everything fine. I hope the same with you.
Great. So, sir, as we have taken this introduction about accountability, and your book is also on the same. Accountability looks to be a crux of the performance. So, what are major issues that has been faced companies when it comes to fixing the accountability?
See, what happens is that accountability is like an air. It is required but not visible. Uh, so you can say that it is the central piece of a jigsaw puzzle. So that's where uh, everything starts. When I say everything starts, we talk about the success of the organization, employee satisfaction, growth opportunities, etc., etc. So, in our consulting business, a lot of times we hear from the companies that, you know, Paramjit, we don't find the passion in the employees. And we always tell them that, unfortunately, it has to trickle down from top. And passion uh, is an outcome of high accountability. So, organizations which are where the people understand accountability, they follow it, like I said, like an air, they breathe it. Uh, you have passionate employees. I know a lot of companies, uh, Indian, mostly Indian companies, where, you know, talking with their top leaders, we've discussed that they're so passionate that they can take a bullet for them. So that's the level of commitment to the success of the organization is.
That's really important. So, how to foster then a culture of accountability at the workplace then?
So, like I said, it is something which has to trickle down from top. And in our book, we have given a workable four-step framework in detail. And by the way, since I'm on the book, I also would like to let you know that this is the first Indian book on this very, very important topic. And there is hardly any material available on accountability. And, especially, because I said, it's such a vast experience and diverse industries, a lot of leaders speak about that, Paramjit, I know my people are not accountable, but how do I build the accountability? So this book answers those kind of questions.
Right, right. So at the team leader level, when you feel leaders can work to improve that team accountability. So what are your thoughts on it? No, and since we are a marketers community, day in and out, sales marketers are being associated, and we keep on discussing. Please include a sales leader view also, so that our leaders can understand that.
So let me start with the sales leader only. So it is very common in the sales function, and I myself have been in sales, active sales, and I work with a lot of great sales leaders. Uh, so I've heard this from some, let's say, first time or mid level sales leaders that you know when they're addressing a meeting, they tend to tell their teams that, hey, let's focus on our targets, forget about what others are doing. Now, when you give this kind of a message to the team, you are disconnecting yourself from the entire organization. Because successful organizations are not one or two people or one or two functions. Successful organizations where everybody works in tandem, everybody works hand in hand, and everybody works for each other. So, when a leader says, a sales leader says that, "Arey yaar, let's focus on our targets. We are not bothered about quality. We are not bothered about delivery. We are not bothered about service. Let's focus on our numbers." So the message which goes down the line is, "Oh, okay, I only need to go for numbers. I don't care for other aspects." And these organizations don't go far, because eventually they have to face the customer, they have to face the quality issue, they have to face the service issues. So I think, if instead of making that statement, if the leader acknowledges and tells its people that, hey, we are all on it together, and who's stopping you to go to quality, who's stopping you to go to service department, who's stopping you to go to delivery department, and find out what is the issue there, so that we all work towards the organization's success. Yes, our goal for sales is mostly numbers, revenue numbers, but then they are very, very, strongly tied up with everything else in the organization. So sometimes I have told a lot of sales leaders that don't be selfish, because it will not take you far. Eventually, as I said, organization, as I said in my opening statement, that it's accountability is a central piece of uh, jigsaw puzzle. So you can't really crack the jigsaw puzzle if you keep focusing on a type of shape. So everybody has to be accountable. Now, your question about how do you foster? So fostering accountability, as I said, we have given a very simple four-step implementation framework. And we have used, our book is called The Accountability Clock. So what we are trying to say is that it is not one-time activity. It is not that you do once and forget. It is always working in the background. So, like, you have apps in your mobile phone, you have applications on your laptop and other devices, which is silently working in the behind. So that's what accountability is. So I'll just give you a quick overview of this framework. So it has four steps, which is observe, own, fix, and repeat. Now, this may sound very simple, but one has to go into detail and understand, what all we need to do, to implement them. So if these four steps are followed by everybody in the organization, and so it's like, even on the road, it's like being accountable citizens. What do we do if somebody is littering a garden or on the road? What do? We just look the other way, right? We can't have an accountable society. So we have given examples in our book, which we through which we have tried to explain all these things, and there are exercises every now and then where the reader can check, that where he or she stands on this accountability.
That's right. The fourth step you have mentioned, and I'm sure it is going to help each one of us a lot into that. So, what would be your advice to the team member, who was also working on the same aspect? There is a view from the team leader, and then we have team members also who, or sometimes we say, running from the accountability that we say. So, what would be your advice to them?
See, I do not see when it comes to accountability, I do not see a leader or a team member as separate. They're at the same platform, right?
Very nice.
So if a team member is not motivated, if the team member is not clear about the purpose of what he or she is doing, if the team member is facing challenges where he or she is not getting the support from his leader, expecting that team member to be accountable is a distance drain. So that's where the leaders need to roll up the sleeves and instead of telling, showing them how to do it. So that's what is the crux of the accountability, that uh, you don't only talk about it, you show it by doing it yourself. I'm sure you would have seen that photograph of the American president, Obama. He rolled up his sleeves, when he found something on the, you know, uh, so he rolled up his sleeve, and he just said that, look, I will also step into fix this. That's the kind of commitment everybody. So if everybody is following that approach, that's the reason I said there is no difference between a team leader and a team member. They're all the same. But yes, that has to trickle down from top. It has to trickle down from top, from the top leadership.
So I would like to have your views more on and another angle to this, because all team members' performance are not the same, right? So some has one is of course the caliber which we can say, but there is another aspect of also of attitude of doing the things proactively. So that's one, in fact, the aspect of the accountability. So I would like to take your views on this aspect also, that the person who is not taking his job seriously, and how to deal or how to fix his accountability on that aspect.
So typically when we have such people in the organization, the example which you gave, that there is somebody who is not taking accountability, we need to understand that what is the background this person has come from. Has he come from another department? Is this person is a new hire? Is there something which is troubling this person? So if this person thinks that, hey, if others are not doing my job, why should I do my job? So as I said, the easiest thing is to blame and point a finger on an individual, that Mr. Sharma is not accountable, Mr. Verma is not accountable. The question is whether the whole organization follows that accountability culture, and if everybody is willing to help and support someone, let's say somebody who has joined recently from an environment where accountability is not an issue or is a big issue, uh, the leaders have to take extra effort to make this person understand that, look, this is not the way we work here. Here, when we talk about accountability, we talk about closing the whole loop. So, this reminds me of a lot of common examples, which people give, and, leaders are obviously not happy about it. So when you ask somebody about, okay, so what happened to that task? So the very common answer is, oh, I have written it to so and so, and I'm waiting for the reply. Okay, I have checked up with so and so, and that person is not, I can't help it if that person has not done his job.
Right.
And the worst part is, these people who are not responding are just sitting 2 feet away from them, right?
Right.
And the leader who's asking this question is also sitting 5 feet away in a cabin. Now, in that kind of a setup, if you expect people to be accountable, it's a daydreaming. So the question is that if everybody stands up and understand and work towards the purpose of the organization, the vision of the organization, only then we can talk about, yes, we want to build a culture of accountability. Otherwise, it remains a blame game. The leader blames the junior person, the junior blames some other departments blame outside vendor, and the story goes on. So in the end, if you ask me, everybody is unaccountable.
So accountability with proactiveness is you are recommending, I believe.
It's absolutely, so when I say when you are saying proactiveness, so what I'm saying is that proactiveness is for what? Is proactiveness to please someone? Is proactiveness to show somebody that how great you are? Or is proactiveness required to finish the task which is aligned with the organization goals? So if there is a task which is aligned with the organization goals, Being proactive is not an option. One has to be proactive. One has to be going to every step and find out where is the problem.
Very nice.
So yeah.
This is great. This is great, and this is, you have added an angle to it. It is more about the self initiatives that one can take to fix the accountability. Lovely. Great. So, what would be your tips way forward for the another segment which is into the crisis? I believe that's sort of middle level managers. So, to grow them as a leader, what would be your tips, sir?
So let me fall back on your favorite function, sales. In my career, both as an employee and as a consultant, I have seen that in a lot of organizations, not all, in a lot of organizations, top performers in sales given the promotion and they become people managers. Now, the unfortunate reality is that these people have no clue how to manage people, right? So the first thing which they have to learn is to how to manage themselves. Because, when they are top performers, they follow a secret code. They follow a secret method, right? Which, being top performers, they don't share it with anyone. It's a top secret for them, that how they're doing their numbers. Now, what happens is, without these people going through a process of learning how to manage people, learning how to motivate people, how to nurture people, they're given a title. Okay, they're given a designation like a sales manager or a team leader, and suddenly these people find lost. So my favorite statement to such organization is that, what you have done, you have killed a great performer and you have given birth to a bad manager, because this person has absolutely no clue how to manage people. So initially what happens is, in sales, this person will, start running around and try to do the numbers for his team members, because he or she knows that, I have to do my numbers and the team also has to do the numbers. So what happens is that suddenly this person, who was a great individual performer, is expected to do the job of 5 people, because the targets, now he owns up for 5 and he has no clue how to motivate others. Hence, I always say leadership is in the mind, it's not in the title. Even as a team member, even as a seller, you know, as a team member, what stops you in going to the other seller and asking, can I help you if you're not able to do your numbers? Can I tell you how to crack this? Can I come with you and help you and, get you overcome this particular hurdle which you're facing? Can I tell you how do you negotiate better, etc., etc.? I'm giving the sales example because this is something which everybody understands simply. So in this, what happens is that the people who learn this early in their career, in the profession, that end of the day, everybody is successful only when the whole unit is successful. You can't have a successful team where one or two members have not done their numbers. Correct? So I'm giving the example of sales. It could be manufacturing, it could be operations, it could be any other department. If people work with the mindset of working for the organization purpose, okay, like when we do workshops, we've not done it for some time now thanks to COVID. So when we used to do workshops, we used to do a very interesting exercise called broken squares. Okay, I'll just give you a small brief about that exercise. It's a very interesting exercise where we split the group into smaller groups of 5 on each table, and on each table everybody is given an envelope of some broken pieces of a plastic sheet, and the task is assigned to all the 5 that everybody should make a perfect square. Only then your task is complete. Now, all these people have got 3 pieces which are asymmetrical. and different sizes, and they have to make a square. Now, what happens is typically the first one, who makes it, feels elated, feels very successful, feels winner that, hey, I've done the job. And he, kind of puts his hands on his square that nobody else should see it, because he says that, this is my creation. But he doesn't realize that the table only wins if everybody makes a square. And you know what? The best part, everybody can only make the square if he breaks his square, because he may be having a piece which somebody else needs it.
Okay.
Okay. So with this exercise, we drive the point that, look, the team wins only if everybody wins. The team doesn't win if there are one or two top performers, because otherwise they will become Goliath, they will become carrying the universe on their head. And that's what, unfortunately, some leaders think, that, without them, the organization will collapse. It's only, when they're kicked out, they realize organization has done better without them. So
Nice.
what I'm trying to tell you is that accountability is in the mind. Leadership is in the mind. Okay. You don't need a title. You don't need a nudge from somebody. So like, I think a couple of days back, I did a LinkedIn post where I said that, if your office has these kind of posters, in conference room or in the washroom, that, please switch off the lights before you leave. Please flush the, after use. I mean, what does this tell you about the culture in the organization? Correct? So we, as consultants, pick up those signs and we tell them that, if you have a need for this, there is accountability gap.
That post struck me to connect to you, and we are here in this Market is Lead talking to each other.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
So
there are many other posts also.
for sure. So
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I would like to know more about your book. Some insights you would like to share.
Sure.
What is it all about,
Sure.
and a brief of what we can
Sure.
learn out of it.
Sure. So as I said, that this is the first book written for India, keeping Indian culture in mind, and giving a lot of Indian examples. Of course, we've used some international examples also. And we've not only talked about the problems we are facing, we've talked about what went right in those organizations or in those systems and why it went right. It is not about, so this book covers all three levels, that is individual, organization, and society. And we've given, so there are about 30 plus case studies in this book, which engages the readers and make them think that what went wrong, what somebody should have done at the right time. So one of the favorite examples which we've covered in this book is that after a World Cup football, last football, Japanese spectators, even when they lost qualifying for the quarters, they cleaned the stadium before they left. Now the question comes, and we have seen in the recent Euro what spectators did. They ransacked the entire area. They broke lights, they broke lampposts and whatnot. This talks about the culture of the society. Okay, I'm not giving Indian examples so that people understand that where do we stand. So what this book is trying to do is capture those very detailed caselettes, understand what went wrong, and we don't stop at only showing the dirty picture. We also have given a beautiful color book, if I can use that analogy, so that how do you fix it? And, as we say that, a person has to be molded from a pretty young age to follow certain things, right? So, for example, unfortunately, in our country, in the primary school, okay, there is no subject called as social etiquettes. Correct? So therefore, when people go abroad, they are stunned, right? So what we are trying to say is that you can't wait for the next generation to do this. Let's see how we can do this in the organizations. Hence, we have given this four-step framework, which I told you. And, each of this step, which I've shared with you, they are not only, just given as a capsule. They are explained in detail. There are examples, there are exercises, so that there's a complete understanding of how do I execute it. Okay, so just a very very small example, which we have shared in our book, is that when the whole system is accountable. Okay, so one of the largest organizations in India, automobile, is Maruti Suzuki. Now it's called only Suzuki, right? Now we know how successful that organization is from so many decades. What is it that drives that culture in that organization? And mind you, as one of the largest automobile organizations, their dependence on the outside partners is as strong as in employees, right? So we've given a beautiful example that there is a lorry man who is supposed to deliver those vehicles at a particular site, and he knows that he may not clear the weight limit. Okay, because the proportion is not right between his vehicle weight and the weight of the vehicles he's carrying. So there's a marginal difference. So what does he do? I mean, he's not expected to do anything. I mean, he's a lorry driver. He can just go get the weight done, put a complaint to the company that, sorry sir, this lorry is not going because of this is this. What does he do? Because he's associated with a culture where, like I gave the example earlier, everybody is associated. So he goes to a nearby farm, he offloads whatever excess he has in his lorry, by taking a little bit of risk. He offloads extra tire, he offloads tools, he offloads whatever extra he could in his lorry, and he keeps it at a highway place, and ensures that the vehicle reaches on time, because there was a launch of that vehicle on that site. Correct? Now, if we as consultants keep studying about why the errors are coming in the system, okay, within the organization, we may not be able to complete the loop, because there's an outsider who's equally responsible and accountable so that the success is achieved on time. Okay, so even the external service partners, everybody who's associated with the goals needs to have that kind of accountability. So I've just given one example. So like this, there are about 30 plus case studies. So answering your question that what is it that employees need to do, okay, they need to understand the big picture. They need to understand that the analogy which I gave you about the exercise, they need to complete the square, and completing their square does not make it does not achieve the success. They have to ensure that everybody on the table achieves the success. All right. Likewise, the framework talks about that: observe, see where there could be a problem, and don't look the other way if you feel that, oh, this is not linked to me. I'm in manufacturing. This is a quality issue. What can I do about it? Or, you know, my job is to put a complaint to the production manager that, I'm not getting the proper power supply. Correct? Or a salesperson, tells his sales leader that, why we are not able to get good sales is because the feedback is not good in the market. The question comes, what are you doing about it? What have you done about it? Have you done something? Have you taken the proactive step of going and speaking to the service person or the delivery person that why these things are there? Correct? So ownership is the second step. You observe, then you own up. You don't look the other way. It is not so. While working, if there is anything which we see is not my job, that means everybody is not aligned or linked to the overall organization purpose. Now, once you have observed, you have owned up, the next logical step is to fix it. You go and find out where is the problem, right? So, for example, in our homes, for example, right? If there is a particular PowerPoint which is not working, okay, what can it do? It can damage that point, it can damage the appliance, correct? Whatever. And what it may trigger is that the MCB may go off. Now, typical reaction would be what? Let's fix the MCB. Okay, now even if you fix the MCB, it can again drop because electrician has come, he has done his job, he has taken the money and bye bye. Now you have to get hold of someone who can identify the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem could be the wiring and not the MCB and not the electrical point. It's the quality of the wire, correct? So one of the very good clients we have worked in the switchgear and wire industry, he always used to give this example that if there is anything wrong in our home, why do we go all the way to fix it? But when we see that same thing in the organization, we have a different approach. We will call the other department and inform them. And to safeguard ourselves, we put an email so that if our supervisor asks us why this has happened or not happened, we show the email. Sir, I have informed. My job is over. I can't help it.
Right.
So that's what we are talking about, fixing it. Okay. And once you have fixed it, you know that what can go wrong. Okay. Then you keep repeating it. Everybody keeps repeating it. So this framework is not, once done and done. Correct? So it's like, like I said, it's like blood in your body. It has to, the heart has to ensure that the blood reaches your toe also and it reaches your brain also. The heart cannot say, look, this toe is damaged, let me not give the blood to this part.
Very nice.
Okay.
Right.
That's how the accountability is. The framework is not very difficult. What is difficult is to understand what is the problem, how do we fix it? And that's what we have addressed in this book.
That's really lovely. In fact, the examples that you have shared, it's really practical, and this is what shows up the experience and the consultancy that you must have provided to the organizations and the efforts which must have gone in correcting that. So my heartwarming wishes to Paramjit ji, you. And with this, we have come to the wrap up of the show. So thank you so much for joining us today on Marketers Lead Talk. It was amazing having you here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.